officially unveiled today as a Juventus player.
I'm gonna give 100% for this club. I'm ready for this challenge.
The number is famous, so is the name. The buzz is that Cristiano Ronaldo can become every bit as famous as his namesake.
Defenders was petrified of him. People didn't want to play up against him. You're already 1-0 ahead when you've got Ronaldo.
It seems the world has forgotten. The world has forgotten just how incredible Cristiano Ronaldo was for Manchester United. Perhaps it's Ronaldo's own fault for achieving so much at Madrid that the United days slowly faded away in memory. So today we're rolling back the clock on Cristiano's career to remind us of the 6 amazing years where Ronaldo truly made Old Trafford the theater of dreams. What's up guys, it's Footballista24 and this is the story of Ronaldo's magical time in Manchester. August 6, 2003 was supposed to mark just another meaningless friendly for Sir Alex Ferguson and Manchester United in their preparation for the new season as they faced Portuguese side Sporting Lisbon. But that preseason friendly may have been their most meaningful game that season. Very little was known about a certain skinny and exciting 18-year-old winger, and those United defenders that night would find out about him the hard way, as he tormented them the whole night. In fact, legend has it that John O'Shea was given a migraine by the young Cristiano, and by the end of the match, United players were in awe of the talent they had never heard of. It was like this kid was auditioning to showcase his abilities to Europe's top giants, and Sir Alex had been sitting there, watching, and he had known that he had seen enough.
So we did our work, we spoke to the boy after the game, we spoke to his mother, spoke to his agent, we got him a private plane the next morning into Manchester and got the deal done before people could blink.
He knew he was about to sign the young Portuguese star, and he had a deal to sign him after loaning him back to Sporting for 1 year. But after that performance, he had no choice but to speed up the process. 1 week later, Cristiano Ronaldo became a United player, making him the most expensive teenager in British football at the time. 10 days after playing and terrorizing United, Ronaldo would make his debut for the club as a substitute with 30 minutes left to play against Bolton. Handed the legendary number 7 jersey, in just 30 minutes, Ronaldo would make the United faithful less worried about the departed David Beckham, the previous number 7 that left the season before. Ronaldo terrified the Bolton defenders and set up his team's second goal in the victory as he showcased the skills that made him such a standout star. In fact, by the end of the game, a United reporter was quoted saying, "I've not seen a debut like this since George Best."
He's only had a couple of days training with you, but it's a long time probably since you've seen a debut like that at Old Trafford, isn't it?
Marvellous debut, it was unbelievable.
Ronaldo's promising first game was a sign of the future, but the present was not so kind for United. Ronaldo did score in the FA Cup triumph, but United finished third that season, 15 points behind Arsenal. Cristiano's early time at the club showcased his raw talent, pace, and ability to beat players one-on-one. United had yet to win the league by the end of the 05 season. Ronaldo had captured the League Cup and the FA Cup in his first 3 years at United. But not only would massive team success be coming, but also a massive transformation for Cristiano.
We all saw the huge potential that he had, and he came over and his first thought was to entertain, and we wanted to win. And we knew that with him in our team, if he had end product, we had a far better chance of being successful. So, to say the better word, we were kicking it out of him, the entertainment factor, to get the actual end product, the goals and the assists.
Entering the 06-07 season, Ronaldo had scored 27 goals in 137 games and won 2 trophies. But the 06 summer would transform Cristiano into a beast. 2 huge events occurred in the summer of 06 that would set the table for United's success. Number 1 was selling Ruud van Nistelrooy to Madrid to allow the development of Wayne Rooney and Ronaldo into their full potential. Rooney and Ronaldo were aged 20 and 21 respectively, but clearly Sir Alex Ferguson saw the potential in the 2 young stars. The second huge event also involved Rooney and Ronaldo in the 06 World Cup. It was a knockout round game between Portugal and England in the 62nd minute of the quarter-final matchup. Rooney ended up getting a red card for his stamping of Ricardo Carvalho. Cristiano perpetuated the situation and riled up Rooney to get him sent off, giving a cheeky wink towards the Portuguese bench afterwards. This event led to the English media crucifying Ronaldo and painting him as a villain entering the new season. Ronaldo even publicly stated that he wanted to leave England that summer, but this was just another chip on Ronaldo's shoulder to prove himself to be the best player in the world. As the 06-07 season was about to start, one thing was clear. Ronaldo had been hitting the weights that summer, and it was evident with the extra muscle mass that he had added on. But the season started off with English fans across all stadiums booing Ronaldo for what he did against their country. But Ronaldo just tore everyone to shreds, scoring free kicks, headers, and putting up man-of-the-match performances against Chelsea and Everton, amongst others, which led him to capturing Premier League Player of the Month in November. CR7 was sending out a message to the world that he wasn't just some guy who showed up once every few games, but that he was a consistent force to be reckoned with, night in and night out.
Season after season, he'd become more and more influential, where it comes to the point where he would play every single game, he would contribute nearly every single moment that he was on the pitch, whether it be a goal, whether it be a pass.
Later on in the season, Ronaldo scored a penalty to beat City, which led to the first Premier League title in CR7's career at United. He ended up scoring 23 goals in all competitions and was a consistent threat throughout the season. Ronaldo ended up collecting 3 individual titles that season: PFA Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, and Football Writers Player of the Year. Cristiano was beginning to fulfill the signs that he had shown early on in his career at United, but this season proved what we all know about him now. His hunger and work ethic is unmatched. Whether you love him or hate him, no one can deny that Cristiano Ronaldo has the drive and hunger to become the best. He wasn't satisfied with the level he was at, so he rose to the next level, and 2006 was a turning point in Cristiano's career. But the 07-08 season would lift him into the highest stratosphere in world football. The 2007-2008 season would be the year that Cristiano Ronaldo announced to the entire world that he was the main man. Ronaldo tore up the Premier League that season, scoring a staggering 31 goals in 34 games, scoring a goal at a rate of 88.6 minutes. And let's not forget, he started the season off as a 22-year-old playing as a winger. Ronaldo broke George Best's record of 32 goals from a winger in one season, scoring a staggering 42 goals in all competitions. Ronaldo actually started the campaign under some serious heat, getting sent off against Portsmouth for aiming a headbutt at Richard Hughes. That led to a 3-match ban, which ignited a flurry of goals, goal after goal after goal. And of course, the legendary free kicks. Ronaldo's free kicks seriously defied gravity, with the way his knuckleball style froze keepers and left them stranded. CR7 redefined the meaning of what a winger could accomplish that season, and he answered the critics who had claimed that he wasn't consistent when it mattered most against big opposition. He scored his first goal ever against Liverpool that season, home and away to Arsenal, and he also provided his worth in the knockout rounds of the Champions League. Ronaldo himself actually scored half of United's 20 goals that Champions League campaign, scoring decisive goals throughout the run. That season also marked the beginning of Ronaldo's long rivalry with the other guy. Lionel Messi and Barcelona stood in the way in the Champions League semi-finals, but Ronaldo would come through in their first battle against each other, and United would go on to the finals, where they would face Chelsea, and Ronaldo of course scored again in the Champions League final. And the game would go to extra time before the Red Devils would lift their third Champions League trophy through a penalty shootout. Ronaldo had now won everything there was to win with Manchester United, and he was the catalyst for the team's success. Ronaldo was the world's best player, and his position was validated as he earned his first Ballon d'Or in 2008 at just 23 years old, the first United player to win the award since the great man himself, George Best. He'd officially arrived as the best player in the world. Already with such unprecedented success, he didn't have much else to prove to the world. But that was not the Cristiano mindset. In fact, he was just getting started. When a player leaves a club in his prime, it leaves a sense of distaste for the supporters, and he is usually made into a villain or traitor in the eyes of the fans. However, it was the complete opposite with Ronaldo, who gave Manchester United his all and won everything for them before chasing his childhood dream of going to Madrid. Ronaldo was actually set to leave United at the end of the 2008 season, but Sir Alex Ferguson convinced him to give it one last go. Fergie reportedly did not want to sell Ronaldo to then president of Real Madrid, Ramon Calderón, who he did not see eye to eye with because of comments made in the media. Ferguson promised that if Cristiano gave it his all his next season, that he would sell him to Real Madrid and new president Florentino Perez. Ronaldo ended his final season at United on a high, scoring 26 goals for the year and securing United's third consecutive Premier League title. Ronaldo was a threat from everywhere on the pitch, with 33% of his goals in his final season coming from outside of the box. His striking technique was unstoppable. He could make the ball dip and swerve in ways that most players simply could not. His long-range 40-yard wonder strike in the Champions League quarter-final against Porto that was voted best goal of the year, followed by a bullet free kick against Arsenal in the semi-finals of the Champions League, were just two of many examples where Ronaldo had no right to even attempt a shot on goal. But we're talking about Ronaldo here.
It's incredibly difficult to stop somebody like that because the counter-attacking ability of him, the speed, the power, is absolutely it's phenomenal. You mark him on the ground, he'll do you in the air. If you stop him going on his left, he'll go on his right. If you stop him shooting from distance, he'll dribble into the box. If you think that your left back's doing well against him, he'll play against your centre back. If your centre back does well against him, he'll play against your right back. He really will pose every single problem that you need to pose in a game.
Weeks after lifting the Premier League trophy, United featured in the Champions League final for the second year in a row, and Ronaldo would meet his eternal rival for the second straight year as well. This time, however, the young Argentine would get the upper hand despite Cristiano's best efforts to keep his side in the game. Guardiola's newly invigorated Barcelona side would prove too much to handle for Sir Alex and the Red Devils, but Ronaldo had a fantastic individual performance. He would have loved to end his time in Manchester with another Champions League trophy, but that takes nothing away from the 6 magical years he had there. Ronaldo would finish his final season with the domestic double, lifting the Premier League title and the League Cup. And that summer, Cristiano would move on to his next challenge that made him the most expensive transfer at the time, as Real Madrid got their man for 94 million euros. Ronaldo would return to Old Trafford 4 years later, but this time as an opponent, where he scored a goal for Madrid, but of course with a show of respect for the club that made him a superstar. Ronaldo's relationship with United remained strong, and the return to the club was entertained over the years, but nothing ever happened, as Ronaldo matured and grew and played his best football during his time at Madrid. But what Cristiano accomplished at United cannot be understated. He is forever etched in Red Devils history as one of their greatest players ever, and Real Madrid snatched up a footballing genius ripe for picking, as we saw a young teenager fulfill his potential and become a global superstar. Thank you guys for watching. Please Please subscribe and like our channel, and until next time.